right, so I understand Method Man performed last night, so that's a little bit of a hard act to follow. But I want to make this really interactive, so I'm going to talk and tell you guys a little bit about my story. And at the end of it, long story short, affiliate marketing has changed my life. And in the beginning, I used to think affiliate marketing, I didn't know anything about it. And I used to kind of think maybe a little negatively, right? Is this spam? And as my business grew, it has allowed me to start a business that gives back to the world. So I think today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story, how it went down. Several of you were asking already. And let me get a show of hands. Who here in the room is a points person? Like, who's into their points? So, OK, good. We got a friendly audience. And then I want to open up for Q&A so you can ask me about the business or just general travel tips. So I was a Wall Street road warrior. So I started working at Morgan Stanley in August of '07, thinking that I would make my wealth, working for a big bank. But, as I soon learned, as the financial crisis hit, that wasn't going to happen. But what I was doing was I was traveling a ton. I was actually in recruitment, recruiting computer scientists and developers. I was on the road for 6 months a year, but I was points rich and cash poor. So I was able to maximize my credit card points from my corporate Amex to take amazing trips. So I was flying on the weekends. I flew once with Madonna in British Airways first class. She's as much of a diva as you would expect. She actually asked the pilot to step on it because we were delayed due to rain. And the pilot actually apologized. He goes, "Madonna, I'm sorry, Mother Nature has other plans." And I was like, is the pilot of this plane really apologizing for rain to Madonna? But that was just one of the amazing experiences I had through points. And I loved points, and I was just, the points guy. People would come to my cubicle, my boss, and people would always come and ask for me for help. So, the financial crisis hits, and, every year I would get a promotion, but they would be like, okay, there's no bonus, but not getting laid off is your bonus. And as a 20-something living in New York, pretty much under the poverty line, I just wasn't having it, right? So a friend was like, you should really take your knowledge of points and make some extra cash. So I actually bought the Points Guy domain in April of 2009. And I had this idea of setting up a travel agency that you could pay me and I would help you use points, right? And that's what it was in the beginning. So I actually sat on that idea for a year. April of 2010, I said, OK, I had just gotten I got basically no bonus, no raise. I'm annoyed, but I knew I had this talent. So April of 2010, I finally just launched the site, and it wasn't even a blog. It was a Form Smarts form that said, tell me what points you have, and if I can help you, I'll tell you, and then you can PayPal me $50, right? Which actually started working. People would, mostly through harassing my friends and family, people started to email me. So I would go to my 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 job. I'd come home, and then I was basically like a little bootleg travel agent helping people book travel. So it was like a couple $100 here and there, and then it was $1,000. And a friend said to me, he was a WordPress developer, and I had no idea what WordPress was. I had actually just seen the movie Julie and Julia. It was about a blogger who blogged about Julia Childs, and it was really interesting. And she started a blog and became successful. And I remember seeing that movie, and I was like, what if I started a blog? And by luck, a friend of mine was a WordPress developer, and he's like, come to my house. I'm going to set you up with the blog. And naturally, if you start blogging about points and miles, people will search on Google and find you, and that'll be your new clients, right? So instead of harassing your friends and family, you'll have Google authority. I had no idea what SEO was. I was a Spanish major at the University of Pittsburgh. I majored in partying. I didn't really study too much. I had no business starting a blog, starting a business, but I did. And so June of 2010, I got my WordPress theme set up, and I said, I'm going to blog every single day. So there were a bunch of other bloggers out there. They're still in the miles and points world, but they weren't blogging regularly. And the one thing I read was in the content world, you have to be consistent. So I said, I am going to write a blog post every day, no matter what, and let's just see what happens. So June of 2010, I did that. I actually like to go back to my first blog. I should have had a presentation. But going back to my first blog post, it was so sweet and innocent. I had no idea what I was getting into. But it worked. About 6 months in, I had about 15,000 monthly uniques, which was, I would go home from work, and I would do my award booking business. And then you could pay me $100, and I would get on the phone with you. So I like to joke that I was like a bootleg phone sex operator for travel. And then I would write my blog post. And I had a really important conversation with my dad. My dad goes, what's the end game here? You can't clone yourself. Like, what are you trying to do? I was working around the clock, and then I would go to bed and be like, oh my God, my 15,000 readers. I would think to myself, I've got like a little arena, right? Like a little coliseum of my readers. I got to give them content too. And my dad said, you need to learn how to make money in your sleep. And that has stayed with me. Obviously, everyone wants to make money in their sleep, because I like to sleep. But really what he was saying, you need to learn how to get into marketing. And I had no idea at that time. I like to joke, I was blogging on a gold mine, right? So all of a sudden, I got 25,000, 30,000 readers, and I go to a cocktail party in January of 2011, and someone came up to me and was like, you're the points guy. And from that moment, I saw the seed of this brand start building. But the real break wasn't until January of that year. A friend of mine from college, who I hadn't kept up with in New York, he worked for a company called Linkshare at the time. And he was like, Brian, you're the stupidest person I know. I'm like, I know. And I actually thought and he's like, we need to meet. And he's gay, I'm gay. And he was like, I thought he was just asking me out on a date. And I put him off. He's like, no, I should go back and look in the emails because it's hysterical. He's like, you are so stupid, meet with me. Because you're blogging about credit cards and you're linking directly to the credit card company. Do you know that you could be making a ton of money? At ton of money, I said, when are we meeting, where and when, I'll buy you dinner. So we met at some dumb Italian restaurant in Times Square after I got off work from my cubicle job. But that meeting changed my life because he told me that affiliate marketing exists, and what exactly I was doing was perfect for affiliate marketing. I was writing about what I loved, about what helped my readers, and I was writing about a product of a company. This is now in 2011, right out of the recession. A lot of the credit card companies were way too strict on underwriting. They really wanted to get back in the game. So in business, everything is timing. There was a great TED Talk, like the number one thing about business, right time, right place. And I left that meeting and he said, I'm going to get you in. I said, American Express would never want to work with the dumb site called The Points Guy. Like, I didn't create the site name. It's not like officialtravel.com. It was like The Points Guy. But everything that I knew or thought I knew was about to get turned on its head. So I did get in. Actually, Amex, and I like to razz them now, wouldn't even accept me. Chase did, though. So I remember February of 2011, I get into the Chase affiliate marketing program, and I so remember, I got into my Linkshare account, had no freaking clue what to do, and I just copied and pasted the whole HTML string and put it into a blog post. And my friend calls me, he's like, are you trying to get me fired? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, dude, you got a link. And so very quickly I learned that affiliate marketing, how to do it, from my cubicle at Morgan Stanley. And in March of that year, I made $5,000 through credit card sales, through doing the United card. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's almost like what I'm making salary-wise. Let me put some more time to this. So April of that year was the perfect storm, I like to think about. So I was in, Chase had let me know. So I started communicating with the Chase people, the Linkshare people, and they're like, we've got this amazing British Airways 100,000 point offer. And they had done it a year before, and it was super successful. And I sat there, and I knew. I was like, holy shit. I'm getting paid $150 a card. This is going to go viral. Viral wasn't a phrase back then, but I took off work the day that it launched. And at the same time, the New York Times had reached out to me, and it went into my spam box for 60 days. Seth Kugel, the former frugal traveler, had written to me and said, I hear you're into points. Points don't matter for frugal travelers. And I was just going through my Gmail spam by accident, and I'm like, oh my God, the New York Times knows about me. The New York Times travel, that's what it was. So I ended up meeting with him, and for 3 hours I changed the way he thought about points. He booked a free trip to Brazil. He was set. So I'm a lucky guy, especially at the blackjack tables last night. As luck would have it, the day that the British Airways offer came out, I stayed home from work, and I was able to translate what that 100,000 meant to people. And at that time, the British Airways program was stupidly lucrative. You could fly nonstop to Easter Island for 20,000 points. So what I was able to do was explain that don't fly British Airways. So everything about the frequent flyer world is so stupid. Never fly on the actual airline, fly on their partners. There's all these tricks that most people don't know. But I was able to write a post translating what this card product meant for consumers that went viral the same day the New York Times post came out linking to the points guy that rocketed our traffic. And I sat there in the shower in my Brooklyn apartment, starting to crunch the numbers on conversions and clicks and all the things that we think about. And I knew my life that day changed. I was like, this is it, right? And it's like, I think I made $100,000 that day in April of 2011. I went into work the next day and quit my job. My parents were like, what are you doing? You're about to get vice president. I'm 28 years old, or 27. And I just knew. But the funny thing was, in the affiliate space back then, I think it was a net 180 pay. I was then with flex offers, if anyone's. So flex, but I didn't get paid. So on an affiliate portal login, I was rich. But is this shady company in Miami going to actually pay me? And my mom, one of my favorite things to say to my mom is, like, she was like, what are you going to do about health benefits? I'm like, I'm rich. I'll pay for them. And I just took them on an amazing trip, and like she was in Emirates first class. I'm like, what am I going to do about health benefits, Mom? So it's kind of fun to rub it in her face, and she admits. But in June of 2011, 1 year from the day of my first blog post, I left Morgan Stanley. I actually went straight to the airport and flew by myself. I'd never been to Asia. I went to Tokyo. And Tokyo is a magical, amazing city. I've been many times. If you've never been, go. Go in April, cherry blossoms. It's so amazing. But I had my aha moment. So I've got the world in front of me. So I started to learn that content is king, and always focusing on my reader, right? And so with our content, how can I make my reader? So today I've met many of you, and the look in your face still drives me to this day. I went and flew Emirates first class because of you. Yesterday I was flying Spirit Airlines coach here, which means I really want to be here in my language. But on my Instagram story, there was a college kid who was in Emirates first class. I'm like, the irony, and I had a terrible travel day yesterday. I did some stupid things. But I'm sitting in Spirit Airlines coach, and one of my 21-year-old readers sends me a picture from the Emirates first class suite and said, because I ran into your site, I got the credit cards, and now as a 21-year-old, I'm flying Emirates first. And that is amazing. And through all of that, the credit card companies have done amazing as well. So it was September. My career-defining moment was I was in Italy. I had been working secretly with Chase on the Sapphire Reserve launch. So who here has a Chase Sapphire Reserve? OK, good. So if you don't have one, you can go to thepointsguy.com. We've got a banner. But my real career-defining moment was September. Actually, it was August 15th. I have the tweet pulled up. Once again, I probably should have made a presentation. Chase announced, so the Sapphire Reserve is basically the best travel credit card to ever hit the market. It went viral. We worked with Chase for months in advance. They chose to use the Points Guy as their platform to launch it into the market. There was no TV campaign. There was no print billboards. They decided, let's go digital and let's talk to millennials, which is our #1 audience. And by the way, we are now at 5 million monthly unique readers. And they announced that Sapphire Reserve was launching via Twitter. It's official. It's coming, with the link to the Points Guy and our post. So it was amazing that so many years after Chase kind of launched my career, it skyrocketed. So think about that. Chase Bank spent millions developing this product, and they announced it via their affiliate marketing partner on social media. Once again, the site traffic went through the roof, our credibility went through the roof, and we were the exclusive launch partner. So it actually launched a week later, so we built up this crazy demand. We cemented our credibility with our readers that we actually had the scoop, and then the day it launched was amazing. I can't go into the numbers, but similar to that moment in Brooklyn when I was in my shower, like I made $100,000 today. It was kind of like that. But over those years, this didn't happen overnight. And actually, Sean and Missy, thank you for inviting me here, because I rarely get to talk about the fact that we're an affiliate marketer. It's not a dirty term. It's amazing. At the end of the day, our clients, the credit card companies, win. We get paid based on conversions. We meaningfully moved the credit card market as an affiliate marketer. That's pretty amazing. Our readers love it. You guys who read our site, you get the best deals, the best information. We change your lives through our free content. So when I started, people would always say, oh, well, one day you can be the travel and leisure editor-in-chief. I just hired their senior editor to work for me. My head of content used to run Billboard. So we're flipping the media business on its head. The New York Times and Wirecutter, now affiliate marketers. Business Insider, which was just nominated, affiliate marketers. It's okay. As long as you're compliant, upfront about it, that's the future of media. So I think there's no better time to be in affiliate marketing. And I'm proud to be in affiliate marketing. So that's really why I'm here today. I don't do a ton of speeches. I actually like to travel. But I'll give a couple key tips. I think what has made the Points Guy brand, right? So first thing, it's a brand. And we're different than a lot of you in the room today. But authenticity is what earns you authority, right? A lot of times we'll feature non-affiliate products because it's what's best for our readers. Once you have that respect with your reader, you have to turn down some deals, right? So I was offered a 7-figure deal to promote a credit card product that I didn't believe in, and I said no. And I went home and I was like, but it was the right decision, right? And I would have never been able to promote that product. So I think sometimes turning down the deals that you don't believe in can be good long term. I think the other key thing is, as a publisher that's an affiliate, I have 2 main clients that are very different and have very different needs. So the credit card companies, that's our bread and butter, right? We do almost all credit card affiliate, and they have a certain agenda. And I think coming from Morgan Stanley, I understand the levels, the legal and the compliance, and the turf wars that exist within that set of clients. And then I've got my readers. My readers are my everything. And they have a certain set of guidelines, right? So it's really, sometimes a delicate dance, but in general, we all live harmoniously, right? And so finding that balance is key, and I think that is what has led us to be, I think, successful in this business. So I think I left off at April of 2011. I'll speed it up. April of 2012, another life-changing moment happened as someone said, you should meet with this guy who was the CEO of a company called Bankrate. At that point, I'm got a couple employees making good money every month as an independent affiliate. And Bankrate, this publicly traded company, the CEO, I marched into his office after I got off a flight from Hong Kong. I was off Cathay Pacific first class. And I said, what does this guy want to meet with me? He said, I want to buy your site. And I said, whatever, I'm not going to sell my site. I left, and it was 6 weeks later, we closed the deal. It was Memorial Day weekend of May 2012. And it was a life-changing deal. So I had started June of 2010. May of 2012, I sold the business for a good amount of money. I had a 3-year earnout. And I'm still here. I'm still here because I love doing what I do. And in fact, in November of this past year, Red Ventures, an amazing performance marketing company based in Charlotte, Rodney's here. He's my boss, making sure I don't say anything bad. No, they purchased us. But what's amazing about this acquisition is that we're now a brand with direct-to-consumer access, and their performance marketing data-driven company. So the future of my business is as bright as it's ever been. We're going to focus on doing what we do best, which is content and changing our readers' lives through our affiliate marketing content. We're working with credit card companies. There's some amazing launches coming out this year that you'll be hearing about. It's a great time. It's a great time to be an affiliate. And I think most importantly, I just came here from Puerto Rico. We now have a platform to change other people's lives. So we were in Puerto Rico, helping spread the word that the island is back up and ready for business. It obviously is still rebuilding, but go to Puerto Rico. If you guys need a fun spring break trip, San Juan is basically fully functional. You'd never know. Don't feel guilty about going. Help support Puerto Rico by visiting and giving it your tourism and gambling dollars. We also have a platform called Points for Peace, where we work with Nobel Peace Prize winners, using points to bring them around the world to do youth conferences, because I think we can all agree that the world needs a little more peace, and we need to motivate young people to be engaged in our communities. So it's kind of amazing. As I look back, this is all built out of affiliate marketing, and it's been a wild ride. So I think with that, I'll open it up for Q&A. Any questions? Nothing. Oh, we got one. So we actually have a sub-affiliate program. So part of Red Ventures, so we were part of Bankrate, which has the creditcards.com affiliate program, Bankrate credit cards. And then through the Points Guide, we have a sub-affiliate. So we're actually working with Business Insider, Lifehacker, and a couple of other publishers, but we're looking to expand that. So it's interesting, yeah, that we're now looking into the future that we could actually work, because the credit card companies, several of you have asked me, it's really hard to become a credit card affiliate, right? The barrier to entry is really high, which is great for me, because I don't want a bunch of competitors. But it's a lot of work, right? So yes, we're actually growing. We have trust with the credit card companies, and now we're talking to sub-affiliates, and I do see that business growing. It's not huge right now, but Steve Harrell is here, who's from Bankrate Credit Cards. Yes.
Hey, just want to say thank you for this. This was really inspiring, so thank you for that. And then one of the things I really like about thepointsguy.com is the fact that you guys disclose that you are earning commissions. Can you talk a little bit about how that came about, and just hopefully encourage others in the room to do the same?
Disclose, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it has been a journey, right? So we very public, on every post we earn commission. When I do Facebook Lives, I say to my readers, this is how we fund this office. These writers, you know, the head of Billboard to manage our, like, it's not free, right? And it's cool, people know that. Good, people send me emails saying, thank you, I used your links, I sent it to my family. It's cool, we're all winning, you know? So I think, once again, going back to that authority via authenticity, like, be upfront. Consumers are smart. I mean, my consumers are millennials who are bankers, consultants, lawyers, living in urban, you know, they're smart. If you try to win one over, once again, it's that short-term gain you might get, but it's not a long-term strategy. So, you know, obviously you don't have to also feel guilty about it on the other side, saying, you know, in every sentence that you write with the link that this is a link, you know, like, people also do get it too. So I think finding that balance has been a balance for us, but I need to live with integrity, right? I need to run a business that I believe in, and that consumers resonate with that. So, you know, I think having, you know, obviously there's all compliance agreements, this is what we say, but put it into your language. You know, the first time we went to Chase and said, we actually want to say it in our language, you know, the non-lawyer language. And they were like, cool, because you're getting across the same point, right? I think sometimes we overcomplicate things, or, you know, just be a human and be open about it. And I think long term, that is the better option. Can I get
This
water?
is going back to when you first started.
Oh.
And you said you made the decision that you were going to blog every day. You were going to do content every single day. At that time, what were you writing about? And was it short, little, just informative blurbs, or was it entire articles?
It was really long articles that I was putting a lot of time and effort into. In the beginning, I was like, oh my God, content has to be, you know, and I need to be an expert, right? So I would have to, like, explain everything in these super long posts. And actually, we're trending the other way. I mean, for better or worse in social media nowadays, you got to get your point across, right? Like, so I actually struggle now with getting our posts shorter and shorter and more snackable. But in the beginning, it's the same thing we're writing about today. Like, how can frequent flyer miles change your life? How do you get to Hawaii? We all want to go to Hawaii, right? So how do I use my Amex points to go to Hawaii? I think I'm a naturally curious person. I'm still annoying. I'm in our Slack channel in our newsroom giving posts. I'll be in the middle of the night coming up with ideas. And I think that's another thing for those of you creating a content platform is, I had all these notes. I didn't go off them at all. But it's about serving people, right? People are a little bit selfish. Our best content is about how we just cut to the point. How do I do this, right? And also that helps with SEO, you know, Google, if you actually write out, how do I get to the Maldives with points? We've got, you know, create the content that people want to search. You know, you do have to create content with the mindset of SEO, but I've never once hired an SEO person. All of our growth has been organic. You know, we do some Facebook marketing, but in general, I mean, Google's my BFF, right? And in the 2011, there was all the dark arts of links, and I never did any of that. I just created quality content every day, and that's what's resonated. And the changes come and go, and I don't stress about it because we're creating solid content. So even if you're not a content creator, you really should think about leveraging content, and you got to think differently about it. Influencers, I think a lot of people say influencers are dumb. Influencers can change your business. That's how people consume. Think about how people consume information. Think about how you consume it. You're on Instagram and you're seeing your friends' in places, your mind goes there. You know, people make fun of the Kardashians. They're fucking brilliant. And if you think they're stupid, think again, because what they've done has completely changed. They've, you know, the marketing and how we see it, they're brilliant at it. So instead of thinking they're stupid, who cares about the content? Think about the ways in which they market, and you can learn a lot from it, actually. I think they're brilliant in how they do it, because people want to connect with someone. I think why the Points Guy is successful, there were a bunch of other Miles and Points blogs, but none of them would even show their face. So I'm not the smartest Miles and Points person by any stretch. But I put myself out there, and to this day, my stupid mistake in the airport, I did a Facebook Live that got me 100,000 readers. That you turn, you know, a bad situation, you got to market it, right? And you may feel stupid, and so if you don't have a brand, it's very fortunate that I am the Points Guy, and I still, but we actually have sub-brands too. So think about leveraging influencers. Think about leveraging Facebook groups. Facebook groups are the future of Facebook. If you're not already thinking about how to market within them, you should. That's how you get through the Facebook feed. Instead of pay-to-play Facebook ads, think of, you know, Facebook groups are the most native form of Facebook, right? You know, Pantsuit Nation during the election and how that skyrocketed. I don't know how many of you, but we just started a TPG lounge for our readers on Facebook. Invite, you know, you can, you know, private group, you can join, we accept everyone, but the conversation there is brilliant. We're gleaning so much content from our readers. Half the time, just listen to your customer. And you know, I give the advice to hotel groups. There's a private, you know, a hotel I stay at in Mykonos. There's a private Facebook group for it, and throughout the year, people talk about it, and you know, it's the best marketing that you could do. So think about these different platforms, and I think innovating in your marketing can also change your business. You know, I'm thinking this year, like LinkedIn, we're the business traveler's resource. Why am I not on LinkedIn? That's, you know, Pinterest. I don't even understand Pinterest, but I do because it's searchable, snackable travel. We should be on Pinterest. People should pin the Points Guy board, right? So that's, I think, to grow your business to the next level. Don't sit there and think, oh, I'm too late to the game or this or that. Like, start testing things. There's so many different platforms now as digital marketers. And, you know, you're going to skin your knees along the way, but that's what I love about this, is that it's a choose your own adventure. So choose to be in first class.
So my question is, based on your previous comments regarding the barriers to entry into the credit card space, and having felt that myself as a travel blogger, what kind of recommendations would you have for?
So I would say, yeah, so credit cards are the holy grail. So the question was, what with the barriers to entry with the credit cards, and as a travel blogger, I would start small. Like, so start, for example, AWIN now has Clear. Clear has a great payout. It's a product you believe in. Like, start with that and build a business around that. And then with data, you can, you know, if you build up a good business, but actually, let me take that back. I never started the Points Guy. Let me start a credit card site that's going to be bought by a publicly traded company. And then, so, you know, like, focus on the content. What are you doing to really move the needle? But I mean, credit card companies work with influencers, with smaller scale companies. So get in through a different route and then push it. Once again, it's a choose your own adventure. Do something that gets you on the map, but don't think about how do I get credit card links. Like, create a really cool ass platform that people like and use, and then go from there. So create your base first, and then try to. And there's still plenty of ways you can do it. And even in the travel blog, don't do what I've done. Like, start a YouTube channel, become the YouTube vlogger. You know, like that. You can get tons of money, and it's not just through links. Then you can do, you know, video advertising. So. I would just, there's plenty of, you know, travel insurance, build authenticity, and then from there you can monetize it. But, you know, in terms of credit cards, you know, there is still the creditcards.com affiliate program and banner program. There's plenty of ways to start, but if you're going to get into that, like, have a process behind it. Do tests, right? Do some social spend behind it to drive affiliate sales up. You know, there are some credit card partners that are much easier to get into. It's not completely hopeless, right? You can still. But like, yeah.
With Points for Peace, was that a nonprofit? And have you done anything with affiliate marketing and nonprofits?
So Points for Peace is not a nonprofit. It's an initiative. So it's kind of an umbrella program. So we donate money and millions of points to that. So it's just kind of like what we do, like using our platform and points for good. I've never done affiliate. Actually, Kind of. So Charity Buzz and Prizeo we're starting to crack into that, where you can do a Prizeo campaign where it's like a raffle and then do social marketing behind it. So it's kind of like affiliate in that sense. But no, we've not done anything like straight up affiliate marketing with charity, but if you have any ideas, I'm open to them. Question over here.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, what do you recommend for best redemption for Avios points,
Yep.
right? So I have a bunch of them, and I look at flights to Europe, and it's crazy that it requires not only a lot of points, but
Yeah.
also a lot of taxes and fees. So
Yep.
what do you recommend to get best redemption value there?
So what is the best redemption for British Airways? Avios is the question. So British Airways points are great because you can transfer Amex and Chase and Starwood into them. But they're really expensive. Don't redeem British Airways for British Airways flights. There are partners like Aer Lingus. That's probably like one of the best, but it's kind of wonky to. The thing is, like, you have to call to book, and there's a blog post. If you Google how to best use Avios, we have blog posts on it. I would say from the West Coast going to Hawaii, still on American and Coach, is a really good deal. But yeah, not going to Europe with Avios, or within South America, still redeeming on LAN is a good deal. But you know. The high-level thing is that airlines are devaluing their miles because there's so many of them coming in every single day because of new credit card spend. So think about this, 55% of American Airlines miles are generated from credit cards, not even from flying. So these frequent flyer programs are now actually frequent spender programs. So they're this currency that there's more being pumped in and there's just not that many new flights. But don't get all sad, the game still exists. The way you win is because the credit card companies offer now 2, 3, 4, 5, plus points per dollar. So the way, and huge sign-up bonuses. We're so lucky here in America. Like abroad, 100,000 point credit card bonuses don't exist. Like 10,000 if you're lucky. So we have these 50,000 plus offers, and not only just the points and the sign-up bonus, we've got valuable perks like City Prestige has this 4th night free benefit. Literally, the 4th night is free at any hotel in the world. And the fee's $450, right? And then you can, so the game is still on, you just have to be smarter, and it's all about credit cards. So that was a long-winded way to answer your question.
Brian, thanks for the presentation. You mentioned that your blog is a very personal brand and associated with you. And I heard you also say that you don't do much presenting or anything like that before your speech. So I was wondering how it is that you've built that as a personal brand and how you think that's valuable in connecting with your audience.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, so brand building is a really fun, terrifying, scary, unknown thing. I actually said, so every day I pinch myself, like, what the hell? Like this, and in the beginning I tried to do everything, but then I stopped, I started to give more, I don't write blog posts really that much anymore, and then that's crazy to think that our 5 million uniques is on the strength of my team. And we have an amazing PR agency, and I spend a lot of time building relationships. That was another tip I was going to give you. We throw a holiday party, but that invests in the relationships that we have with our credit card issuers. Like, people want to get to know you. As you guys see, the reason why you're here, meeting face to face, really is a lot of value. So I think every day, what is the best way that I can help this brand and business, right? I can't do everything. I'm not the best writer. I now have really smart writers, but I am really creative, right? So I think I'm the CEO of the company. I have full control, even though we're owned by Red Ventures. They allow us to be us, which I think has allowed us to grow exponentially. So it is hard sometimes, though. And when content's not to my liking, I'm the one who people come up to on the street, right? But at the end of the day, I'm also really hard on myself, and I want better quality content. I'm constantly focused on better, and we're going to be making tools. So we have 15,000 blog posts. A lot of them are buried. How do we get those nuggets? I want to change people's lives. I want to make you have that trip that changes your life with your family. I get no more satisfaction out of that. So I think just being authentic. I don't know. Sometimes I try hard. My biggest blog post ever, 1 million views in a day, was when I got the United dragging off the flight incident wrong. I didn't read into the information, and I blamed the passenger. And that was a total mess up. But actually, that wasn't my blog post. My blog post apologizing for how insensitive and quick to respond was our biggest ever. But but it's just being honest. I was wrong. And people loved, I think in this day and age, like apologies are scarce. But that was a learning moment for me, right? I don't know. Building a brand and credit card website, it's stressful. I mean, those two clients, the credit card issuers and our readers, they're high maintenance. And I'm in between them. And I love being between them. And I bring them together, I think, in a meaningful way. But it's just, a lot of testing and innovating. When I go to bed, I think about how I can serve both of them better. And I think as long as both parties know that you're actually invested in their success, that's a winning combination. So it's a fun place to be sometimes.
Hi, Brian. I'm sorry to hear you had a bad travel experience with Spirit today.
No, let me take that back.
Okay.
Spirit was amazing. My bad travel experience was in LAX when I was on my phone and left the airport by accident. Oh. And I had 10 minutes to board the flight, and my boarding pass didn't work. I mean, I was a total idiot. I love Spirit, actually. I flew. Okay. People think I'm a diva, but no, I was totally fine. So, got me here early.
Okay.
Do you work for Spirit? No.
I also heard that you had tickets for Celine tonight that got canceled.
No. Don't tell me. No, so Celine Dion has a song called Taking Chances, and on the day that I walked into my office to quit at Morgan Stanley, I was actually listening to the song Taking Chances, which is about like jumping off a cliff. So Celine has this so I'm weaving her into my story. So she's not canceled yet for tonight. So I think she's still on, unless you have any other information.
Well, I am the manager for the Caesars affiliate program for shows and hotels, but I don't have exact inside information on that.
Okay, good, then she's still on. So
as far as I know, she's still on. But if she gets canceled, come talk to me and we'll get you tickets for Absinthe tonight. So we'll make sure you have a good travel experience in Vegas.
Cool.
Brian, I have one more question. Over to your left.
Oh, there we go.
I spend a lot of money on ad spend in my business.
Oh, that's
I was
a
wondering,
great question.
what credit card should I get?
A lot of you in here. So you should get the Chase Inc. Preferred. We've got a link for it at thepointsguy.com. So if you're spending a lot of money on online ads, you absolutely must be spending. So the Chase Inc. Preferred gives 3x on online advertising. So that's Facebook, that's Google. You can get multiple cards, and the sign-up bonus is 80,000 points. That right there is like a trip to Asia. The Amex Business Gold Rewards gives 3x as well, but only up to 100,000. You can get it's 175 a year. When you think about the 3x on 150, that's 450,000 Chase points for spending $150,000 you would have spent. Chase points I value at 2 cents a pop, so it's like $9,000 for spending 150 on online ads. You can actually get more than 2 cents a point if you fly first class. So those 450,000 get 2 first-class tickets to Asia, which are $10,000 each. So actually then you're getting like $20,000 in travel from $150,000 in online spend you're going to do anyway. It's a pretty damn good return. Extreme couponing for the 1%. So those are the two ones. And then after, the Amex Business Platinum gives a 50% bonus on all purchases over $5,000. So if you do your online spend and 5,000 chunks or higher, you get 1.5 Amex, which is a pretty good day in and day out. The Chase Freedom also has, Freedom Unlimited has 1.5 on everything. So we actually have a blog post, best credit cards for online spend, but there you have it.
I was wondering, how many credit cards do you have, and how many credit cards is too much?
I threw my back out with my George Costanza wallet.
There's so many offers. Like, I feel
There's so many offers.
Is it bad to just be like constantly signing up and canceling, or?
Well, so with signing up and canceling, look, there's so many offers, so many issuers are coming to the table. There's more cards coming. So this is what I was getting to. It's a great time to be, especially a business owner spending money on credit cards. That's the best way. I mean, it's free points. One of the conditions of working with Red Ventures, I was like, don't take my online spend away. And actually Google was like, we were spending like $1 million a month, and they were like, no, we want invoice. And I was like, no. So stand your ground and you can win. What was the question again? Oh, how many credit cards? So I have like 21 right now. My score's an 800. The thing about credit cards, people think, we're always told, be careful. Susie Orman's out there being like, use cash. No, Susie, don't use cash, because you're losing money and points. So, getting 5 credit cards a year, a couple 100,000 points, free flight, that's what everyone does. I was always worried about, being a credit card hawking credit cards, obviously pay them off in full, everyone gets that. But if you do that, your score, actually, the more credit you have available and the less you use, utilization is your number one factor. FICO has this listed on their website. As long as you're paying your bills every month, even not in full, but if you pay them in full, your score will go up the more credit cards you have. So there's like a 2 to 5 point ding in the interim, but then paying them off and having more credit and not using it actually shoots your score up. So, credit card companies, you used to be able to get the same card over and over, which is called churning. Credit card companies started to clamp down on that, but there's still so many, each new product, you can get the sign-up bonus. If you want the Delta Amex Reserve, you can get the Platinum, you can get, so those are advanced, credit card points. But everyone, like all of our, hardcore readers have multiple cards. As long as you manage them, that's the fun of the game. Taking money away from credit card companies. That's my job, to help people take as much from credit card companies and airlines. And who doesn't want to beat both of them?
Hi, I'm Mike with TravelVeteran.com. And I've done a lot of traveling. I've been to about 56 countries, mostly in economy. And a couple of years ago, I discovered premium travel, so business class, first class.
Once you turn left on the airplane, it's so hard to go right. So just
exactly.
know that.
Or walking up the stairs.
I belong here.
But I'm actually even more interested now in private travel, like
me too, brother.
Private jets, stuff like that. So aside from JetSmarter, what other programs are out there that you would recommend for people like us?
And so JetSmarter, I was a member for a couple years. To be honest, I didn't have the greatest customer service experiences. I don't understand the model. They're a little shady from my experience. Screw JetSmarter. No. Some people, if you manage, you got to manage JetSmarter. They have these crazy fees. So it's a free shuttle, but then it's like $5,000 if you miss your flight, and you're like, oh God, or change. So there's lots of gotchas there. But in terms of private jet travel, I think that's an industry that still is ripe for disruption. There's not tons of amazing ways to fly private cheaply. There's all those Regal Wings and Smarter programs, Jet Suite. Surf Air has the unlimited prop service. I haven't personally used them, but I wish there was a secret that I could give you to fly private for free, but let's just split a jet. Cool. But it's going on my credit card, and you can reimburse me. Any other questions?
Hi, Stefan Spencer, Art of SEO. So I have 2.8 million miles on American Express.
You're a points hoarder.
I
Use
am.
them.
Because I think I could just write this trip off, so I'll just do that, have the business pay for it, which is my business. But then, I'm hoarding my points.
It helps your bottom line. Points help your bottom line.
So first question would be, should I keep hoarding, or should I start spending them? And then the second
So I think the fundamental, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel strongly about this issue. The fundamental thing you need to think about with points, if you have so many you're not using them, get a different currency. So for example, Bank of America has a premium rewards card. If you have $100,000 in one of their retirement accounts, IRA, you then earn 2.625% back on every dollar spent. So think about that. Every $1 million in points is 26 grand cash in your bank account. So, instead of what's the difference between 2.8 million Amex and 3.8, fundamentally, it's not helping you, but 26 grand in cash on the table, and so think about, if you have so many points, there is a moment where you should think about cash back, right? And there are some cash back business cards too. Okay. And I never used to think I would say that, right? But time is a limited resource. You're not going to use first-class tickets nonstop around the world, but then you have a business to run. So I think there is the moment of you have to think about your points and miles like a currency, diversifying your retirement account. Right now, your retirement account is all Apple. What happens if Apple drops, right? So diversify.
Okay. So if I want to do a trip around the world or something with my wife, what would be the best way to use those 2.8 million miles? So
they used to have around the world tickets on certain airlines. Those have mostly gone away. What I would say with Amex, you've got a lot of, so Amex points are great only for airlines. Don't transfer to hotels. You're going to lose a ton of value. But I would say look region by region and piece a fun trip together. So if you're based in LA, let's look at LA to Tokyo. You've got Singapore Airlines, ANA. You can transfer Amex. The thing about Amex, there's like 25 different partners. So with Star Alliance, you can transfer to Aeroplan, which actually has really, valuable routing rules. And this is where it's like get a cup of coffee on a Saturday and sit and read we have our readers and our writers dig into this. We actually had a post recently, which Amex transfer partner is the best for Star Alliance? So when would you use Aeroplan versus ANA? ANA is distance-based. Aeroplan is chart-based, right? So depending on how far you fly, you may want to go with the chart-based frequent flyer program. Some have higher fees on certain airlines. So this is all stuff that we dig into in detail. But sit down and look at your options. And that's what I love so much about miles and points. I look at the globe, and I can go anywhere with point. I mean, it's a cool thing. So I would encourage you, travel new places you haven't been. But if you go to Australia, stop, LAX to Tahiti, and then Tahiti to Australia has better availability. Stop in Tahiti, why not? And then plan your trip around where you see the availability. And another tip is last minute airlines open up tons of award space, tons. The old adage was 11 months in advance you had to steal the ticket, Now it's like airlines have dynamic pricing, and when they see open seats, they want to fill them. So at the same point where last minute fares are really high because they're trying to gouge business travelers, they also will release award availability. So being a little flexible too, and even if you book on Delta to Tokyo, keep checking, and if their partner Korean, which is a nicer experience, opens up, you can switch. So I obviously to me it's like miles and points are like a crossword puzzle. And it's so fun. And think about this. As a currency, we have no control over the US dollar. There's so many factors that go into foreign exchange. With miles and points, the more you read, the more blog posts at the Points Guy you read, you increase the value of that currency. And I think that's what's really cool about it, that the more you know, the more value you can get out. And our hardcore readers love sitting down and getting the most value out. Flying that $15,000 first class ticket for 90,000 Amex points. And then I tell people, would you rather have $900 in gift cards or a $15,000 airline ticket? And when people get that and get into this game, you'll get hooked. So if you're not already a points person, today is the first day of the rest of your life or something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. First off, daily reader, so appreciate what you do. So I have a higher level question. The points exist because there is this credit card spread that the credit card companies are offering as a benefit and making retailers pay it, and it's ostensibly above market. There's tons now with digital currency and everyone trying to make almost costless transactions. What is, and in Europe, they don't even have points for that reason.
Well, that's what, I was alluding to that earlier. So that's the whole system. And it can be said that those paying cash, there's a sunk cost that merchants use at 2% processing fee. They pay 2 cents of every dollar to credit card companies, in which they're kicking back 3/4 of a cent to us in points, and then us who know how to use points maximize them. But that's the system, right? I don't see it changing anytime soon. Cryptocurrency is still in its nascent-ish stages. It's years and years from being massively widespread. In the future, could it change? Totally, but the system, there's so many people winning. Credit card, airlines, their most profitable parts of airlines are their loyalty programs. Many airlines have split up their loyalty program and sold them for billions of dollars because they're marketing machines. So airlines are vested in hotels and travel and credit cards. And so the biggest thing, the biggest thing that could disrupt the system is regulation from the government like they have in the UK that would cap, which they did with the Durbin Act cap debit cards. And that's why we saw all points on debit cards went away overnight, because they could no longer make money on the spread. Like it or not, this administration's not going to add regulations onto the banks or credit card companies, so that's one shining star for me, selfishly. So I don't think anything's going to happen in the next 3 years. And even if a change of administration, I think it would, lots of people fighting. Consumers like points too. So the system is good for those who know how to maximize it. It can be argued that the poor are subsidizing points for all of us because they have to pay the same prices and they're not getting the points because they don't have the credit. But I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
You have lots of readers that are coming there looking for, ways to sort of like bunk the system, free information, things like that. Talk to me a little bit about over the last few years of them actually purchasing other travel-related things.
Yeah.
Do they tend to use links of yours, or is it such a small percentage of your business?
So the affiliate space, it's a great question because we have, a massive audience of wealthy readers that get credit cards, right? It's pretty damn hard to convince someone to get a credit card, open up a new account, and we do that really well. So the barrier to entry of other products, like even travel insurance and baggage and luggage, like we have all those options in front of us, and we probably should be better about that. But honestly, the equation that we have now works really well, right? We're credit cards. We now create credit card products with the credit card companies and launch them exclusively at really amazing CPAs that we negotiate. So I focus all my time on that. We do Clear is something I love. So we just got, AWIN just got Clear in their network. Clear is to get through the airport quickly. I love it. Our readers love it. It saves you time. It saved my ass yesterday, actually, because I didn't have pre-check. But Clear, you put 2 fingers on the button, and they bring you to the front of the TSA pre-check line. So even if you have Clear, it's amazing. So then, we're doing a decent amount of business with that. And, I think we could probably build a travel booking portal and, hotels. That's where the bread and butter is in the travel biz. So, but once again, it's, and this is where I need to push myself to. And this is, with Red Ventures, we think about what is the future of the brand, where it could be, and maybe I'm really comfortable in the spot I'm in, and I've wrestled my way to get to this place with credit card companies and so pushing myself out to diversify our products and fine-tuning a pitch around travel insurance, for example. Is that something I want to put everything's an opportunity cost with time and branding resources. So I think there's tons of opportunity, and we will be exploring, I think, new options. But for now, we've got so much going on in what we do, and I still think there's a big market to conquer and to grow our business. So, maybe I'm being a little too conservative on building out our sub-affiliate, but when the numbers are just so strong with credit cards, and if we can really ramp up our year on credit cards, it's hard for me to have a team focused on 5% month over month or 10%, which in other businesses would be great, but I don't know. Any other questions? One of these days, I'm going to just walk around the room and do wallet audits and give prizes for people who have the right credit cards. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure for me to be here.